don't care what that escrow document says. You are in direct violation of the bylaws, and I am demanding immediate compliance.
At 6:58 a.m. my front gate keypad flashed red, and a tow truck rumbled at the curb like it belonged there. I stepped onto my porch in socks and saw a bright orange HOA ticket taped to a stone column. Cold air hit my face. I smelled wet grass and exhaust. Then came metal on rock, clink after clink. Two men in vests were pounding neon pink property markers into my lawn. One said, "Don't touch those." HOA verified. My coffee went cold while I read the packet, and I kept muttering, HOA ticketed my mansion over escrow file using property markers, and their settlement sign became real. I closed on April 19, 2024, and escrow was still finishing lender paperwork. The HOA decided that meant my ownership was unconfirmed, so my lawn and part of my drive were suddenly common area. It's deeded to my lot. Not shared. At 9:00 a.m. I walked into the clubhouse office with the packet. The board rep didn't offer a chair. I slid my recorded deed number and purchase survey across the counter. He pushed them back. He said, "We requested your escrow file and you refused, so we verified ourselves." I asked, "With what?" He nodded toward my yard and said, "The markers don't lie." I tried the polite appeal first, because I wanted it on record. On May 2 at 6:41 p.m., I emailed the board my deed, my survey, and one request: pause enforcement until escrow sends the final packet. Their reply came at 7:03 p.m., pay the fine, provide escrow documents, or face lien review. By Friday I had 3 tickets. Neighbors walked past my driveway and wouldn't meet my eyes. That was my line in the sand. No yelling. No midnight marker pulling. Proper channels only. I called the escrow officer for a dated status letter. I called my title company for the recorded plat. I hired a licensed surveyor for $600. Then I documented everything, morning and night, so nobody could rewrite the story later. On May 5 at 11:20 a.m., the surveyor met me at the edge of my drive with a metal detector. He found the corner pin under the sod and wiped it clean. He pointed at the HOA markers and said, "Wrong reference point." He measured, photographed, and set his own stakes where the legal boundary sat. Then he printed a stamped sketch and handed it to me like a receipt. The next morning I went to the county records window. The lobby smelled like paper and floor cleaner. The clerk slid a thick stack across the counter. The file landed with 77 pages. Buried inside was a boundary correction from 2018, signed by the HOA, admitting their common area map had been wrong before. Same corner pin. Same bad verification. That night, I lined up photos, emails, and call logs in a binder. I added the surveyor report, the county pages, and the escrow officer letter saying recorded ownership is what matters, not an escrow file. Then I wrote one timeline page so nobody could twist it later. Timeline item 1 May 3 at 4:27 a.m. false security call claiming I was tampering with HOA markers. My driveway camera showed me asleep inside. Patterns of false reports can be prosecuted. On May 9 at 2:15 p.m., I sent the binder summary to the HOA attorney, not the board. I asked for 3 things: remove the markers, void the tickets, reimburse my survey. I also demanded a correction notice, because people were whispering that my house was in escrow trouble. 2 hours later, the HOA president emailed me directly. She wrote, "Let's settle this quietly." Her offer was me handing over private escrow papers and accepting the $900 in fines as education. I replied, "No. Please direct all communication to counsel." So I forced it into daylight. I filed with the state HOA Oversight Office and requested mediation. Mediation happened June 6, 2024 at 2:00 p.m. in a bland room with buzzing lights. Their lawyer kept chanting escrow file. The mediator kept pointing at the deed and the 2018 correction. When I slid those pages across the table, the HOA president's smile finally slipped. By 3:18 p.m., they signed, remove the markers, void the tickets, pay $4,100, and send a correction email to the community. By dinner, the neighborhood reacted in a low roar. Phones buzzed. Screenshots flew. I got the same threat. Save every email. Keep receipts. Ask for minutes. Document everything. 2 days later, they tried to pretend that signature didn't count. On June 8 at 8:12 a.m., the board rep emailed, the board did not vote, so the agreement is not binding. My attorney filed it with the court and asked for enforcement. At the hearing on June 17 at 9:30 a.m., the judge read the signatures and the mediation notes. He pointed to the bylaws showing the president's authority. He noted my deed was already recorded. He said escrow paperwork is not a boundary tool. He referenced the 2018 correction as proof the HOA knew this issue. He made the settlement in order, set deadlines, and warned that ignoring it would bring sanctions. Walking out of that courtroom, you could feel the spell crack. The HOA side stayed tight and quiet, like somebody turned the oxygen down. On our side, nobody was cheering. People were standing taller. A neighbor who used to avoid meetings held his phone up and said, just documenting, and nobody laughed. Another homeowner said, I'm not paying a mystery fine again. Someone whispered, they only win when we're alone. Phones were out, not for gossip, but for proof. People saved the case number, shared the order, and started talking like grown-ups instead of scared kids. You could see it in the small things, shoulders back, eyes up, chairs pulled in close. The bully energy that used to fill the room just thinned out, like smoke with no fire. After that, the pink markers disappeared, my gate keypad lit green again, and the check cleared right on schedule. The best part wasn't the money. It was how the neighborhood acted once it was safe to breathe. People started keeping folders, taking photos, asking for minutes, and saying put it in writing like it was normal. At the next meeting, more than 30 homeowners showed up, sitting straight, phones face down on the table like quiet cameras. Even the loud board rep spoke softer. A neighbor brought me a small bag of lemons and said, thanks for doing it the right way. That night I opened my binder, laid the court order on top, wrote June 17, 2024 in the corner, and finally slept. If you enjoyed this, hit like, subscribe, and share. Was the HOA wrong? Drop a comment.